the rabbi, by whom I primarily mean Tony Levin and his press secretary for the Queen's Reich, Amanda Harcourt, have long mongered and soothsaid that if they catch me off guard, I might make some revealing mistake that shows I wanted to inhale Ralph Karsh marijuana when he gave it to me when I was 10 years old. And this will allow Joe Biden to forever waltz with Ian Wattenmaker regarding the neuroplastic implant that they subjected, meaning Pitt and Israel and England, subjected Rod Carreri's boy to, who is suspected possibly have been blamed by Bush for the loss of his plane in the Navy, which would mean that Bush wheeled about and crowed about and jumped just so to kick my father off the earth in the end. But naval petty mongering and murder one aside, I just took a nap and woke up, and I thought, well, maybe if I follow this strategy and catch myself off guard, I might be able to penetrate their shields a little better than I seem to have been able to. So, it's for some, I don't normally do this because it's liable to come over as a arduous continuum. So, said for the kid who hates rich hippies in Pittsburgh, who claims that the people who tortured me were just fucking with me. Of course, they had a cigar and ice technique. They brutally torture me and leave me impaired for life, unable to hear what was being said. Hey, by the way, creepy weirdo who sees what's going on in Ukraine as all heroic strut by the CIA. I'd like to see you figure out what was going on if you were deaf. Anyway, pardon the digression. Um, See, that's what I'm saying. I don't even remember where I was going before. See, oh, yeah, cigar and ice. Then they come along and they say, give them some licky chops. We'll make a spot peep with Rich Hedges and them Chomsky what Queerball really wants. So they can show the rapacious white. That's the licky chops. So this is their cigar and ice technique, and they began doing it to me when I was about 9 years old. Michael Reagan's favorite scene is when they becocking me as a slumber party. They piece poured me in a pot and took a picture when I was 9 years old and gave it to Crooked Begrona Sotheby's for her collection. Courtesy Warhol, D'Alessandro's funeral parlor, the gang over by Leslie Park who built Salk Research Labor and the India Parliament building. So that Vicky Chops could call dibs for Biden when he established the ethnic pecking order for the Native American arc that Biden is gigged with. Because Flame Over Africa had about the idea of protecting our children, the world's children, Uvalde's idea. So they have these soothsay Sotheby's war games going, well, if the boogie monster isn't there, how did a 10-year-old get raped? And we'll go after the doctors. And that out harnesses the idea of asking Jeff Thompson and Bernard Wattmaker why they built a shack and got a girl who was overdeveloped who wanted to do it when she was 12 years old to nail in Jimmy Carreri for Licky Chops peep of the Holocaust variety after they brutally tortured him. Well, of course, it was because Michael Reagan wanted his favorite scene every time he snapped his fingers. Come on, queerball, speak. Speak in the microphone. What's my favorite scene? What happened? What happened at that slumber party, queerball? And this is George Bush and Donald Trump tune at work in American civics with Benny and the Jets watching their backs. And it's common knowledge that I believe that Russia cahooted with Oliver Stone, and Vlad are part of the production company of Flame Over Africa, who are playing game of man is man, Vlad is Vlad, James C is James K, Her Majesty's greedy psychology in Flame Over Africa. But it's also common knowledge that I believe the Russians are much less reprehensible in Syria and are right about our atrocities in Iraq. And although they should not have invaded the Ukraine, we're clearly being encroached upon by neo Nazis. And we don't talk about what happened in Greece. We don't talk about what happened in the Orange Revolution, which was just like January 6th. The man they tried to kill just barely got away. It was assassination. He was duly and respectably elected. So they don't talk about the attempts by people who are constantly being victimized by Biden and Wattenmaker, like the Iranians. Their attempts to have outreach to make peace, to feed their children. Oh my God, what a communist thought, to feed children. I mean, Pitt used to call me a whacker for worrying about starving children in places like Central America publicly. They would shriek at me publicly and say, that queerball is at it again. He's encouraging communism because he wants to feed starving children. They couldn't believe how stupid I was. So, I'm trying to catch myself off guard here, because complicated thoughts can be really slippery. And they start hammering me with attack prostitutes. I mean, it was really very conspicuous. I mean, it was like how many eggs can Cohen Lukey, I mean, they were just like hammering me with attack prostitutes. It was obvious what they were doing was what turned out in the script. They had written this persona is subjected to successive degradations of the X mode. There was a vanisher trick, right? If you don't play along with it, we won't tell you the truth. And when they had enough gig, they were like, so you went along with it. So, but what I proved was that they were behind the assassination of character contraption, and the people who were creating Flame Over Africa had abducted me as a child for sexual indoctrination so that Michael Raven could get his favorite scene somewhere. And so that Donald Trump could pull off his licky chops beef. And then they could say, you deserve to die of AIDS. And they pounce with the John Lennon bat hat with all of her, people I was trying to protect. That's what doesn't get through the story. I mean, I'm trying to catch myself off guard, and here I've done it again. I've told the truth. It's a shame. I mean, how many times can you say that before they come headhunting for you? You don't want the licky chopped peepers to get hold of any kind of idea that you were you talking big like you tried to help people. Oh no, you don't want that because the Licky Chops beepers have more money and have more uses for your donations than you can imagine.